All right, Ian.
Patrick.
There's a big page break here. So there was an announcement on Twitter. You were excited. This caught my eye. It's the Playdate portable handheld console announced, Ian.
Yep, I'm pretty excited about this. So the Playdate is it's a new portable. It's coming out. It's by Panic. Panic. I don't know much about their Macintosh or iOS software, but I do know that they started publishing games. Firewatch was critically acclaimed, and Untitled Goose Game is coming this year, and I'm actually looking forward to Untitled Goose Game.
The people that did Firewatch.
They're the people who published it.
They published it.
They published it. So, but apparently they have 20 years experience also doing Mac and iOS stuff that I was unaware of.
Okay.
So what they're putting out is a small
Pocket
black
size.
and white portable. It's got 2 buttons, the crosshair, crosspad, D-pad, and a crank on the side of it.
A metal crank.
A little spinny crank.
And there's rivets on the edges of the console as well. Look like metal rivets.
Yep. The design is very sleek and nice looking. As a matter of fact, the
Speakers on the side in metal.
first time I looked at it, I said, oh, that looks like a Teenage Engineering product. And sure enough, Teenage Engineering is doing the design.
So what have they done before?
Teenage Engineering, if you go to their website, they are mostly known for synthesizers.
Okay.
They do pocket synthesizers that look like calculators. I have a bunch of those. They made the OP1, which is a very fun synthesizer to mess around with.
Been around since 2005, according to their Wikipedia.
They've done the OPZ. They've made speakers. Basically, they do a lot of very neat. I should have brought my OP1 over to show you.
OP1, which is a synth. OP Lab, OD11.
OD11's a speaker. OpLab is a MIDI interface. The OP1.
The Frequenz designed for IKEA. I'm not sure what that is.
So, anyways, they're a great design company that is known for making electronics, usually with music involved. But they've actually put games like the OP1 has a little helicopter game.
Really?
You can unlock.
You should have brought it over.
And then you play it with the knobs.
Oh,
it's impossible, but it's still amusing. Cute. Their PO series, the little pocket ones, have like segmented LCD displays.
So anyways, this is well-made stuff, well-engineered.
Yes, usually known for being a bit overpriced, but very well-made stuff. For instance, the OP1, and I'm assuming this as well, is like one tooled piece of aluminum. You know, like it's well-made. From
my past synth experience, while going back in college, when I used to price them out because I bought a couple. Whenever you bought them from like the ones that came out of Europe, they were more expensive.
Sure. So anyways, back on the Playdate though. So it looks nice. It's being designed by a company that's got two companies that have time in the game as you were. There's no reason to not trust these companies.
They've put out products that have been successful.
Yeah, I would at least trust them on
It's not a Kickstarter.
No. It's not a Kickstarter. It's $150.
$150?
$150.
Isn't that nice?
Isn't how the games are going to be is they're going to do it in seasons. So they've gotten a hold of people. Names are slipping me right now, but
so no carts.
No carts.
Okay.
The Keita Takahashi, who did Katamari Damacy, Zach Gage, who did stuff like Spell Tower, and then I don't know who these people are, unfortunately, Bennett Foddy and Sean Inman. They're all making small games for this system. And in a season, say there's 12 weeks, so the first season is 12 games, one will be released each week and will show up on your system. So you'll get a constant drip over a season of new games.
You get alerted with a notification, right?
Yep.
A little light.
I believe it's a light. Yeah, you get alerted with some sort of notification. For instance, so they don't have to use the crank, but the crank is a very Teenage Engineering edition. Some games will just use the button, some will just use the crank, some will use both. The one that they're showing here appears to be, I think this is the one that Keita Takahashi's doing. It's like a time traveler one where it looks like you move the character by moving the crank.
Forwards or back?
Forwards or back. And when you stop, they stop. So we'll have to see what happens. Right now it shows the Tin Man running, picking up, looking at a flower, and then it runs forward a little bit more, and I believe it gets suplexed by a woman.
She hugs a woman who suplexes her.
So
that's happened to me a couple times, not going to lie.
So While I think it's very interesting and very cool, there are a couple things that I'm a bit concerned about with it.
Let's just go over a couple more things.
Okay.
According to this, it's 12 brand new video games, one each week. This is going to be early 2020. It's going to ship.
Yep.
What are these games? They're keeping the games a secret, and we can talk about that. It says some are short, some are long, some are experimental, some traditional, all are fun. When your Playdate lights up with a brand new game delivery, we hope you can't wait to unwrap your gift. There's so much more to come. But this is all the information we have right now, though.
Yes.
And it's going to be $149, as you said, $150. So what are your potential issues here, Ian?
Well, one, I can't tell if there's a backlight on the screen. Doesn't look like it. I heard some people say that there isn't. We'd have to see about that. It seems silly to me that there wouldn't be.
I can't imagine in 2020 not having a backlit console.
However, my concerns are this. So it's $150. I like the season idea. But I think for what it is and for the amount of interest people may hold in it long term, I think 150 is kind of it's borderline. Two, we already kind of have something like this. It's called the Ardu Boy. This has been
that's right.
I mean, it's not as beefy or robust, but my question is, for me, the Ardu Boy is 50. I have one and I use it a lot.
We talked about this in the podcast in the past, the Ardu Boy ever?
I don't think so. Well, we might have, because I bought mine 2 years ago in Portland, and I've been using it since.
And that's a small one, right?
Very small. It's literally business card sized and can fit in a business card slot.
Oh, Jesus.
Here.
Okay.
So
this looks cool.
If what the goal of this is to provide a small, fun game experience when you need one, there's already something that can do that out there, but cheaper.
And there's more games.
And there's over 100 games for it.
And those are developed, those are just the community developing those?
Community developed. I don't think there's any that you pay for. I think it's all open.
And that's how much is the Ardu Boy?
$50.
$50. Yep. Okay. I think I'm going to pick one up. I don't think I was aware of this.
Really? We showed it to you.
I think you showed it to me, but Portland doesn't count. I'm out of it.
So anyways,
open source too. Okay.
It's blown wide open. However, it's not as accessible or easy to use as they're saying this is. It's not tricky, but you do need to have to learn how to load like a game onto the Ardu Boy and stuff like that.
Okay.
It's not that hard. You download Arduino IDE on your computer, and then you
USB.
You download a loader. Yeah.
It's a good USB little guy. Mm-hmm. It's business card size. You got to show me this.
So
this is more to me. There's already something like it, and it hasn't reached mainstream. If this is going to reach mainstream, and it seems like it's going to, it's got a lot of buzz. It's going to be on the excellent marketing that it's getting. Yes,
and that's also there's that issue.
This is in a weird area of tech toy. It's in between a video game console and tech toy. It's not to me a video game console yet.
The life of this thing is it's going. I think it really needs to be open. I think it needs to be open source.
Well, you need more. You need first of all, you need a guarantee that these 12 games are going to be on it. Because what happens if the dev on a few of these games just goes under?
Oh, I think they did already. I think.
They're all done.
I think the first season is in the bag, but they're not telling people about them.
See, that's the thing, though. We got to know what these games are before this comes out.
No, I don't think you do.
I think you do.
At 150, that's not the market. The market for this
is a tech market.
Is people who want to be surprised by little bite-sized stuff.
Then this is going to be a niche product. It'll remain a niche product. It'll sell well for that, but it won't blow up.
Once people have it and start talking about it, though, then it would probably get. You only have to wait and not know what the games are for 12 weeks after it comes out. And then everyone's going to know it's on season 12, and then you can make that decision.
But if that's part of the fun, knowing that the game's coming out, like I said, this to me is a tech toy. This is not to me like a game console.
I'm in agreement with you there. It is. It's more of a toy, less of a portable gaming console.
I'm not on board with this. I'd be on board with the $50 Ardu Boy.
So
that's to me that's more where I'm at, because you have a list of games that you know about, and plus you don't know if this isn't a success. Maybe that's all the games you get is 12.
Well, yeah, that's obviously
then it's dead.
That's a concern too.
It's a dead console after that.
That's one that I was going to as well. That's why I think open source is necessary. I have a feeling that, much like teenage engineering stuff, I have a feeling this from Panic is going to sell very, very fast at the beginning, but unlike something like a synthesizer, I wonder, you can keep making stuff on a synthesizer. You can keep finding new ways to create stuff. If there's only 12 games on this, that could be an issue at some point.
Oh,
But I think some people at 150 will buy it and be like, "What we get is fine." It's because of its weird marketplace that you could just look at it as a toy with 12 games on it,
And that's it.
and never do anything with it again,
and be happy with it.
Yeah, I think a lot of people might be going into it with that mindset.
But that's not that again. That's a different market. That's people that have money. To
yeah, the market.
That's like we'll spend money on the Atari VCS because it looks cute, but we'll never use it.
Yeah, it's a video game system, but it's marketed to a somewhat different audience.
Yeah, but I'll tell you this though. This is the way you do a modern console. Though.
Oh, absolutely.
This is the way you do it. It isn't just, this is just another platform where you can get the same games on 18 other ways.
Yeah.
This is something where we have exclusive games. They're unique games because of the platform, and we have people on board ahead of time. Like this is an angle that and it got buzz because of that. Just because of the fucking there's no reason to put the crank on otherwise that this got buzz because of the crank. You know, like it got buzz because of that.
Teenage Engineering does stuff like that all the time. Like you could buy a crank for the top for the knobs along the top of the OP1, and then you could actually get like Lego connects and stuff, and like connect Lego gears to it, and then turn it on, and just you could crank it to turn all the knobs at once.
It's just cool.
They love putting little weird shit,
little gadgets
on there because it's what this would have gotten notice without the crank, but the crank is what pushed it.
The crank is like why? You ask why is there a game system with a crank on it?
Yeah.
So that's my biggest concerns. Ian says it'll be fine if it's just 12 games and that's it.
I think for the market that's actually going to buy it, I honestly don't think they'll care if nothing else happens with it.
If it's just $150, it's a cool tech toy.
And I know lots of people who won't buy it for that, but I think the people, I'm not saying you should want that or that's what you should, but I think the people who are actually going to end up buying this are going to be fine with it being a standalone piece of, a standalone conversation piece at worst.
Gotcha. I'm just saying this limits your potential audience. It just does. Because at $150, this is no longer, whatever. If it sucks, it sucks. This is an investment to a lot of people. $150 is not a
it's not.
It's not $50. It's not even.
They said
$80,
it's not very
$100.
cheap or very expensive. I think thinking that $150 for something like this
is expensive to most people.
I wouldn't mind paying it, but don't call that cheap.
No.
Yeah.
No.
The Ardu Boy is cheap.
A $60 NES Classic is cheap.
Yeah, an Ardu Boy at $50.
Yeah, once you get to like $80. I know the dollar, I know with inflation, it's different than $80 20, 30 years ago. But once you get over $100, now we're into the realm of, you can get some modern consoles for $200, when they're re-released and different editions. And, once you approach modern gaming prices, this isn't like, I mean, it's new engineering, but this is going to be like the analog systems where you'll constantly use with different games. If this is 12 games and you're done, then you have a really expensive Tiger LCD collection.
It's a toy.
That's what you have, but it's cool. I'm actually now more interested in the Ardu Boy. I'm not sure how I forgot about this. I must have seen it. You must have shown me this at some point.
I did. Vonnie has one. Trying to think. I think Rue bought one that year.
A couple years ago?
Yeah, because I saw them there and I'd heard of them and I was like, I want this. And then I told everyone else about it and a few people went to go get it.
Is that backlit?
It's a black and white OLED screen.
Okay.
Yeah, all your graphics are white on black.
So you don't need it. Okay.
Yeah, I mean it's bright.
You can play blackjack on it and a little Zelda adventure games. Okay, I want this.
There's little shooters and all sorts of neat stuff on it.
I want the Ardu Boy, and we'll see. I'm sure they're gonna have to announce a couple of these games before the Playdate comes out, or at least give you an idea. I don't think they're gonna have people totally in the dark on these.
I think that. Well, I think for a lot of people who are buying this though. The other thing is most people know at least a few of these
Of the devs,
and I think that's another thing that separates it from a normal game system is, like I said, the secret of the games and knowing the devs and knowing you've enjoyed their past games, I think is supposed to be honestly enough for the amount of people. The amount of these that they're going to make will sell. And I think
a couple thousand.
Yeah, I mean, they said they had 70,000 people on their wait list. They ain't making 70,000 of these. I don't think. That'd be cool, but I don't think they are. So it's going to sell out fast.
5,000? 10?
We'll see.
Okay.
But I think it's going to be... I think it's always going to hold its own niche. Even if it comes out and flops, it's going to be something that people are going to want later.
Sure.